What's up everyone, it's James here, and in today's video I want to talk about the best locations to start listing a property on Airbnb or managing other people's properties on Airbnb right now in the tail end of 2020. Obviously, a lot has changed this year when it comes to Airbnb and just about everything else under the sun. And so understandably, the best locations, what used to be the best locations for Airbnb might not be the best locations for Airbnb right now. And some areas that didn't used to be that great for Airbnb now might be better than ever. And so I want to kind of dive into why that is and dive into, which areas in the world are the best opportunity right now to get into Airbnb, whether that's managing your own properties on Airbnb or doing it without any experience, without any upfront expense, and managing other people's properties on Airbnb. Now, again, I also have links down in the description below to learn more about the step-by-steps for how to set your own property up on Airbnb or your own spare space up on Airbnb, maximize on everything, get everything set up properly, and go through step-by-step how to do all that. And how to do it in spite of everything that's going on and really capitalize on the opportunity that's happening right now. So if you're interested in that, just click the link down below in the description, as well as another separate free training on how to start managing other people's properties on Airbnb if that's what you want to get into. So if you're looking to get into that and you want to do it without any upfront expenses, any hard costs, and you want to do it without any previous experience on Airbnb, then I also have a free training down below that's going to show you through exactly how to do that and give you some really helpful tools to help you get started along that path. So now let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's talk about what the best areas are, the best locations are for Airbnb in 2020. Well, one of the best countries in the world right now is the United States. I am going to get more specific and more granular, but I wanted to start big and then kind of zoom our way in. So one of the best countries right now is the United States. The reason being is that domestic tourism is happening in full force right now, and we're seeing a huge number of Americans with a huge amount of buying power. Typically, Americans spend about $144 billion on tourism every year, and right now that money is essentially locked in the US. People can't really travel internationally very easily, and so they're spending that money in and around the US, typically about 200 miles or less from where they live. So they're taking these kind of slightly staycation type vacations. They're staying in Airbnbs as opposed to hotels in favor of less crowded, more private areas, because they don't want to be in some crowded hotel with hundreds of other people for very obvious reasons. So as far as countries, you want to look for a country that's got a larger population with a lot of buying power. The US is actually number 2 in the world for global tourism spending each year at $144 billion, right behind China. So that's what makes the US such a great location on a country level for Airbnb right now. So that's obviously a great place to get started, but what if we want to get more specific than that? Where are we seeing the biggest opportunity? Well, the biggest opportunity is happening in places where the demand is really high and the supply is really low. And so we want to look for a combination of those two factors. Now that's happening all throughout the US, like I said. We're seeing demand going up all throughout the US, and we're seeing supply having gone down because a bunch of people left Airbnb in favor of long-term rentals because they were afraid a couple months ago and they didn't know how long it was going to take for things to get back to normal. Certainly a lot of people didn't expect for this rebound to happen the way it has, as quickly as it has, and for things to be such an incredible opportunity on Airbnb as they are right now. And so for that reason, supply went down because people left and moved over to long-term rentals. And so wherever that gap is the biggest, meaning that there's the highest demand and the lowest supply, that's where we're going to see the biggest opportunity. And so there's a few indicators of those places. Now, number one, major cities. Major cities on the outskirts of them tend to do really well right now. So I'm not talking about right downtown LA or right downtown New York. It does okay, but even better than that are the smaller little vacation destinations right outside. So think about upstate New York, or think about Joshua Tree right outside of LA. It's a little bit more secluded, a little bit more out of the city. That's where a lot of people who are from LA or from New York are gonna go and spend their vacation time. So there's that big population that's in LA, and typically that would be a really great place to get started on Airbnb. Right now, though, it's more about serving the population in LA. So it's not about the people coming into LA, because a lot of that used to be international. It's more about where are the people in LA gonna go and vacation to. And so we're seeing Joshua Tree doing really well. We're seeing, all sorts of little neighborhoods and little pockets around the outskirts of LA that are a little bit more rural, a little bit more secluded, a little more of a getaway. Those tend to do really well. Again, another example is like upstate New York, going over towards different areas that are outside of the main city center. They're attractive vacation destinations where people live in the city center. So that's one opportunity. Now, another thing to look at is national parks. National parks in the US right now are going crazy. Another big reason why Joshua Tree is doing exceptionally well right now. Now, national parks, we're seeing that campsites are getting booked up months in advance. Crazy. Like that's not something that normally happens. But again, if you think about what is a great thing to do in the US, it's obviously to go road tripping, to go camping. It's an amazing country for that type of travel. And that fits really well with the type of travel that Americans want to be doing right now. They don't want to be hopping on flights, and they certainly don't want to be spending more time locked inside. People aren't going to be looking to stay inside on their vacation. A lot more people want to get outdoors and spread their wings a little bit because people are so cooped up over the last few months. And so we're seeing national parks doing really, really well, which is why I'd say that if you have a property in or around a national park or in one of those pockets that's around the outskirts of a larger city, then now would be a phenomenal time, probably the best we've ever seen in history, to get that property started and listed on Airbnb. Now, if you're looking to start managing properties on Airbnb, that is again where I'd recommend focusing on. Now, the great thing about that is that you don't need to actually live there in order to manage properties there. We have tons of students we work with who manage properties completely remotely in different cities, different states, even different countries from where they actually live. So no matter where you are in the world, you can get started and really focus on, drill down on the best possible locations to get started. That's one of the really cool things about managing properties on Airbnb. Now, again, if you want step-by-step walkthrough on exactly how to do that, how to get started, how to do this without any experience, and how to do it without any hard costs or anything like that, then again, just check out the link down below to the free training that I've linked. That's going to walk you through step by step exactly how I did this. We're also going to give you some free tools that I've custom built that are going to help you to analyze the opportunity in different areas, help you to figure out where the best places to get started, and help you to actually get started building the business and growing it longer term. So if that's something you're interested in, just check that out in the links in the description down below. And so that's basically what you want to look at. What you want to do more than anything, those are some kind of general guidelines for what's doing really well. America's doing really well. Smaller cities and kind of vacation destinations outside of major cities tend to do really well. There's some sort of vacation hotspots. California tends to do really well right now. Florida's doing really well right now because it's very popular for Americans to go down there or go over there at any time. So it's a really popular vacation destination for Americans to travel within America. So that tends to do quite well. And also national parks tend to be very attractive right now as well. Places with more of an outdoor experience. States like Colorado, we're seeing Colorado see a big jump in bookings right now because a lot of people want to get away to the mountains. It's very beautiful there, very picturesque. So that's doing well as well. The cap that you want to sort of put on, if you're going to put on a hat and try to figure this out for yourself and analyze different opportunities, well, number one, I recommend really breaking down the numbers. And so again, one of the free tools that we're going to give you if you sign up for that free training down below is a tool that will help you to analyze different areas and the opportunity in different areas and figure out where the best place is to get started. So that's going to be number one, is crunch the numbers. But the other thing you can do is just kind of put on your thinking hat of thinking about where would Americans want to go. And if you're an American watching this, which I know a lot of you guys are, then just think, where do you as an American want to travel to? If you were to travel somewhere, where would you travel to? Now, you can't travel internationally. So what is a realistic place for you to travel to right now? Good chances are you don't really want to get on a flight. If you're like most Americans, you don't want to get on a flight right now, so you got to think within 100, 200 miles of where you live. Now, you can also think about, okay, well, what if I lived in LA? Then where would I want to go? What's some cool places around LA that a lot of people that live in LA would probably want to visit, would probably want to go to? And then that's going to help you to figure out what areas are the most attractive. Yosemite National Park, for example, again, are people in LA or people in San Francisco, people maybe even in San Diego going to want to make the trip out to Yosemite National Park? It's traditionally very, very beautiful. The weather's great. There's tons to do out there. Outdoor adventure, absolutely. So good chances are if you look at the numbers, you crunch it, you're going to find out it's doing really well. So that's basically the thought process you want to go through and figuring it out. And then, like I said, always just do your homework and really crunch those numbers. And again, if you want to get access to that free tool, it's going to help you to analyze the numbers, and that's linked down below. It's going to help you to get that. Once you sign up for the training, we're going to send it to you completely free once you attend. And then again, the training is just going to walk you through everything step by step to help you really get things started on the right foot. So Feel free to check those out if you want more info. If you're new to the channel here, then subscribe. We post 2 new videos every single week, so you can stay up to date with those if you subscribe to the channel. And also, if you like this video, do me a